All right. My name is Zach Daniels. This is my assignment 15 or 16. Um, I teach at James River High School in Midlothian, Virginia. I teach students with severe intellectual disabilities. So when it comes to collecting data, I know how to do it fairly well since I have to do it pretty weekly and often, not only for myself, but also for their IEPs and also for um, their jobs. Because in our program in high school, the idea and the focus is to get our students can be with us till they're 22. The idea is by the time they exit, they have a job, they have a place to set up. Some of my students live in group homes, so it's getting them set up for the real world, getting them to do basic everyday things that is a good help for me to practice on because I don't always know how to do it. So it helps me to go back and learn how to do the basics of things. But like I said, when I collect data every day, I'm collecting data on work skills, so such as can they do stuff independently? Is their behavior up to par? Do they need to ask for help? Do I need to prompt them? Do I not need to prompt them? And then I also do data on their math skills, their English, their reading, their writing, their speech. I even have to collect data on their speech for the speech therapist that comes in. Um, and then the biggest thing I have to do, so in my classroom, I have the students that are verbal, but also I have students, so all my students have at least 3 disability categories other than ID. So some of my students have autism, some of them have health impairments, some of them also have emotional disabilities, which can add to the fun of the classroom. So a lot of it is me managing their behaviors, finding replacement behavior, collecting lots and lots of data on it, figuring out what the trigger is, what the issue is, trying to stop it before it happens, um, which is part of the reason why I love my job so much more because I get to do stuff like that. But also, so we have data in the school, but for the most part, I'm on my own little island. And for those that remember my intro video, that I work with a team that's not the friendliest of all. So I kind of just do my own thing. I work around them. I don't really work with them, just unless I have to, because I take care of my students alone, and that's a lot to do as it is. So yeah, there's my 2 minutes, over 2 minutes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that's a good question. So it's actually nice. There were two. The one assistant principal, she just left because our school is we have 200, we have over 2,000 students in our building alone, and I'm in a district of 65 schools. Um, yeah, we're pretty big. um, but so my assistant principal, she is very, very supportive, very helpful. So she doesn't really know much about our department, but she's very willing to learn, which is awesome. So like she'll come down to my room like weekly just to check in. We'll talk. I'll go over some data, and she is actually really good with data. She's in a doctorate program and a lot of her stuff is on data right now. So I've been going to her for help and ideas from her. But also I have like just other colleagues in my hallway that are really awesome and supportive. And there's other people in my department that aren't on my team that are just as cool. There's a guy who did my job for 8 years before, and now he just does LD. And he's phenomenal. Lots of help, lots of data that he gave me. So yeah, yeah. So I'm more on my own. So my school is not the special ed hub. We're just We're the second. Um, we're one. So every school in our county has our program, but we're like the second or third largest. So we don't get that much support and funding. And none of our assistant principals have done our job before. So a lot of it is just me learning it as I go, picking stuff up last year. But yeah, a lot of it is just probably the biggest thing that I find helpful is actually something I got from a colleague is collecting data on like the life skills, so I can use that data to show because I had to go sometimes talk to employers as a reference, and they'll want to see like data of like okay, so like they have this behavior, but this is how it works, stuff like that. I think I answered your question. Okay. Now I gotta see where to go next. Oh, so the help I want. Any kind of help you can offer. So this is only my second year. I just finished my second year of teaching. So a lot of it, the help I really need is probably more from just the experience that you both have in terms of just like I hate not working with my team, but at the same time, like the reason I'm doing it is to not because of myself, but it's more just to benefit my students. Like I'm there for them and not for the other crap. So, I mean, whatever experience you guys have from that would be, if you have anything to offer, would be awesome. I mean, this class has really helped with the data. I mean, the way I do things is very long and drawn out, so I have found some quicker ways to do things, which is going to save me hours of weekends that I can finally do stuff now. Thank you. Yeah, all this all this talk that we've had about food is making me really hungry right now. But aside from that, yeah. So actually, that is something that we do at our school. We do run a coffee cart that I'm actually running. But the mentor thing has been something I've been trying to get my team on board to do for since I've started. and they're not very for it. Um, so I've been that's something that I actually really think is helpful because I mean as a I coach too, so I also have my athletes come in and they work with my students um, twice a month, and it will just be basic activities like that. But I've always wanted to start a mentor program like that because we're the only school in the county that doesn't do it. Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that was my presentation. If you all have any more questions, let me know. Not. Thank you.